Most isekai give you an overpowered hero, a cheat skill, and a world waiting to be conquered. Log Horizon does something far more dangerous. It asks what happens when thousands of gamers are trapped inside an MMO, and suddenly the game's rules become the laws of reality. And here's the crazy part. Shiroe doesn't need plot armor to win. He needs a plan. The story begins when thousands of players of the MMORPG Elder Tale suddenly find themselves inside the game world after a major update. They still have their classes, skills, levels, and familiar game mechanics. But this world is no longer just a game. Shiroe, a brilliant but socially awkward strategist, teams up with Naotsugu, Akatsuki, and Nayamta. Instead of simply hunting monsters, they have to figure out how society itself is supposed to work. Akihabara becomes their base, and the players eventually create the Round Table Conference to govern the city. That detail matters, because Log Horizon isn't really about escaping the game. It's about building a civilization inside it. Here's the hidden genius of Log Horizon. The MMO mechanics actually matter. Classes aren't just character labels. Skills, cooldowns, aggro, party composition, raids, guilds, crafting, and resource management all affect how characters survive. Battles often feel like actual MMO encounters rather than flashy anime fights with a game skin. And Shiroe is the perfect protagonist for that system. He's an enchanter, meaning he's not the guy charging forward and deleting everything. His strength is information, positioning, timing, and manipulating the battlefield. That's why his fights can feel like watching someone play chess while everyone else is playing checkers. But the deeper Log Horizon gets, the less it feels like a simple trapped-in-a-game story. The players are called adventurers. The inhabitants of this world are known as the people of the land. At first, the players treat them almost like NPCs, but the story gradually challenges that assumption. If the people of the land can think, feel, suffer, build families, and die permanently, are they really just NPCs? That question gives the series a surprisingly philosophical edge. Then there's the economy. The adventurers have access to game knowledge and abilities that completely disrupt the existing society. So, suddenly, the problem isn't just monsters. It's inflation, trade, political power, guild control, transportation, and who gets access to resources. Yeah, this is an isekai where someone can basically become more important because they understand economics. And that's exactly why the world building remains one of its biggest strengths. The Round Table isn't just a cool name. It represents the attempt to create a functioning government among powerful guilds, while also dealing with the people of the land. The series turns an MMO guild structure into something resembling actual political institutions. Visually, Log Horizon isn't competing with modern Sakuga monsters like Demon Slayer or Jujutsu Kaisen. Its animation can look modest, especially compared with today's production giants. But its visual identity has another strength: atmosphere. Akihabara feels like a lived-in MMO city. The fantasy landscapes, guild halls, battle formations, menus, equipment, and character designs constantly remind you that this world was built from game logic, yet somehow became real. And here's another underrated detail. Shiroe's background as a strategist isn't just random character flavor. Before the apocalypse, he was part of the legendary Debauchery Tea Party, an informal group of elite players known for tackling difficult raid content. That history explains why Shiroe thinks several moves ahead. His reputation as a strategist wasn't magically handed to him after getting trapped in the world. He already earned it. Of course, Log Horizon isn't perfect. Its biggest weakness is pacing. Some viewers absolutely love the political discussions and slow world building. Others think the series talks too much and fights too little. Season 3 especially became controversial because the story spent significant time on political and organizational conflicts rather than delivering constant action. So, if you're looking for non-stop fights, this probably isn't your show. But if you enjoy strategy, lore, politics, MMO mechanics, and worlds that actually feel like they have rules, Log Horizon can be addictive. The hardcore anime community has always had a complicated relationship with Log Horizon. On Reddit, fans frequently praised its world building, strategic combat, and the way it actually uses MMO mechanics instead of treating the game setting as a convenient excuse for power-ups. Some even call it an underrated classic of the Isekai genre. But the criticism is just as real. Some viewers find the pacing painfully slow, especially when political discussions replace action. Others loved Season 1, but felt later seasons lost some of that magic. And that's probably the fairest description of Log Horizon. It's not an anime everyone will love. It's an anime that rewards patience. The final take? Log Horizon may never have become as massive as Sword Art Online, but in one important way, it went deeper. It didn't just ask, what if a video game became real? It asked, what would happen to society if it did? That single question creates politics, economics, warfare, friendship, identity, and even moral dilemmas about what it means to be human. The anime's third season ended in 2021, but the story itself still has a larger world beyond what the anime has adapted. So no, Log Horizon isn't perfect. Its pacing can be slow, its animation isn't always spectacular, and its later anime material is divisive. But if you're tired of generic isekai, where the protagonist gets an overpowered skill and steamrolls everything, give this one a chance. Because Log Horizon wasn't trying to make the coolest game world, it was trying to make the most believable one.